Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. At the outset, I'm sorry I could not take on Monday and Tuesday. A personal emergency. Because of that, I could not take. Coming to today's editorial, it is all about the war between the Ukraine and Russia. There are some important words and easy to comprehend, but if you know the meanings of the words, if you don't know the meanings of the words, then it is not possible to comprehend easily. Let us start the session with vocabulary, editorial vocabulary. I hope everything is perfect. Audio, just say yes or no. What is the first word? The first word is primary. Primary part of speech adjective. Of chief importance or principal, something important. You got to be careful with the spelling. Blasting, primary reason, primary purpose. These are the combinations. The second word blast. From this we get blasting, part of speech verb, blow up or break apart something solid with explosives. Usually it goes with a building or a bridge. Artillery, context is war, so it has to go with buildings, obviously. Artillery again goes with war context, part of speech noun, large caliber guns used in warfare or on land. Large caliber. Caliber is an important word. It means ability. Yes, you have to recollect two words. Principle, one, it has two or three meanings. And principle is a man of principles, another word. They come under confusing words. Artillery, large caliber guns. Usually we say someone has the ability, the skill. He is a man of caliber. He is appreciated for his caliber. That's also an important word. But in this context, large caliber guns used in warfare on land. Weaponry, you can say that also. Aggression, aggressive, part of speech adjective. Aggression, noun. The action of attacking without provocation. Ready to attack. Aggressive person, aggressive dog, ready to attack. Arsenal, that is also right. Very good. Slap, you all know it goes with everyday English. Slap someone, hit on the cheek. And here, slap has a different meaning altogether, though it is a part of speech, though it is a verb, same part of speech, verb. But regular meaning is different. This meaning is different. In this context, what does it mean? Put or apply something somewhere quickly, carelessly, or forcefully. In this context, it means quickly. Reap a windfall, that is an idiomatic expression, an important one. Reap a windfall, an unexpected or sudden acquisition. Acquire means to get, or advantage, often in the form of unforeseen financial gain. It goes with the financial aspect. Unexpected financial gain we use based on a particular situation. Reap a windfall, an important one. Shell, it has got many meanings. We all know. Typical combination, seashell. But here it is a different meaning altogether. Part of speech noun. A shell in a military context, this is all about the war, is a projectile whose payload contains an explosive. The outer covering, you can say. Ammunition goes with the war, part of speech noun, describes the supply of shells or bullets used for a gun. Ammunition, shells and ammunition means what? Ammunition means the supply of shells or bullets used for a gun. Sometimes they say we ran out of ammunition, means no bullets and no shells. Ramp up, we have got huh, not exactly good results. Take acquire something, especially financial gain, based on a situation, a different meaning altogether. Good results different, and reap a windfall different. Ramp up, we have got many a time. The word ramp goes with fashion show, a fashion show. The models walk on a ramp, but here it has a different meaning altogether. And ramp up is a phrasal verb. Increase the level or amount of something sharply. Sudden increase, ramp up. It goes with production as well. Bleak future, a typical combination. Not hopeful or encouraging. bleak prospects, bleak future. Escalate also you can say, but escalate has got a different meaning altogether. Retreat, part of speech verb. This also goes with war. Of an army, withdraw from enemy forces as a result of their superior power or after a defeat. Retreat is nothing but leaving the battleground, looking at the enemy, or because of the enemy, a powerful enemy, a formidable enemy, a particular group of soldiers. The group leaves the battlefield, then we say retreat. The soldiers have retreated from the battleground. That's an important word. Soar goes with everyday English. It has got two or three meanings. Typically, it goes with birds. Eagles soar, fly high in the air. Soar also means to go up suddenly. It goes with prices, numbers, soaring prices. Collapse, we have got many a time, part of speech verb of a structure. Suddenly fall down or give way. Maximalist, part of speech noun, we have got for the first time. What does it mean? Especially in politics. A person who holds extreme views and is not prepared to compromise. This is a new word you have to remember. Extreme views and not prepared to compromise means stubborn, adamant. Revive, we have got so many times, part of speech verb. Give new strength or energy to, or give new life. Revive something. Imperative, even this we have got many a time. Part of speech adjective of vital importance, crucial. Something is imperative, something is crucial or vital. Batter, subject to repeated violence and assault, to be beaten repeatedly. We use the word batter. He has been battered, she has been battered. The war has battered a particular city. Brink, again a new word, a point at which something, typically something unwelcome, negative, is about to happen. Verge, on the verge of. Brink means about to happen, edge of. Devastating, we have got many a time. Part of speech adjective, devastate verb, devastating impact, then it is an adjective. Highly destructive or damaging. So many words, but a few words are familiar words. Buffeted, for which word? Battered is different, buffeted is different. Exactly. Brink means edge. Now let us go to the editorial and see what is there to learn. Comprehension point of view, grammar point of view, vocabulary point of view. End the war. Message is crystal clear. End the war. Good for everyone, entire world. Not only for Russia, not only for the Ukraine, but the entire world. We have to, high time. The war is ended. End the war. Russia has a primary responsibility to push for a peaceful settlement with Ukraine. Now, the responsibility, for the word responsibility, you have to think of an effective word, onus. Onus means responsibility. Russia has a primary responsibility. Primary means what? Of chief importance or principle, the most important. Primary responsibility to push for a peaceful settlement with Ukraine. Why? Obviously, the editorial explains this is the main idea. War has to be stopped and good for everyone. The battle for Severodonetsk, this is a bit difficult to pronounce. The easternmost part of Donbass, where the Ukrainian forces still have defensive positions, has entered the final phase with Russian troops, destroying all bridges over the Donets River linking the city with its sister city, Lysychansk. Many of these names, names of cities and towns, not easy to pronounce. One has to practice twice or thrice. Only then it is easy to pronounce these words. But that doesn't matter. There's only one word here, primary. And what does it talk about? It talks about the progress, to what extent Russian troops could gain or they could get the upper hand. The battle for Severodonetsk, the easternmost part of the Donbass, where the Ukrainian forces still have defensive positions, has entered. This talks about the present situation, the war, the Russian. It talks about obviously. the Russian troops, where exactly they are and to what extent they have the upper hand, has entered the final phase with Russian troops, destroying all bridges over the Donets River linking the city with its sister city, Lysychansk. The Russians now have more than 80% control of the industrial city, with the remaining Ukrainian troops trapped without supplies. It talks about the position of the Russian troops. The Russians or the Russian troops now have more than 80% control of the industrial city, with the remaining 20% remaining Ukrainian troops trapped without supplies. 20% with the Ukrainian, but the Ukrainian troops trapped without supplies, no supplies. So within no time, Russian troops will definitely get the upper hand. They may get the remaining 20%. If Russia takes control of Severodonetsk and Lysychansk, the entire Luhansk Oblast will be in its hands, allowing it to march towards Kramatorsk, the last industrial city in the Donbas, still with Ukraine. Again, this talks about the march of the Russian troops and how many cities they have got so far. And if they go ahead with this particular region, in this particular region, and they are going to have the last industrial city in the Donbas still with Ukraine, they may get that also. In recent weeks, Ukrainian troops have taken heavy losses, with Russian forces blasting their way into Severodonetsk using artillery fire. This again talks about to what extent Russian troops could march ahead. In recent weeks, Ukrainian troops have taken heavy losses. Next sentence talks about the number of soldiers who are dying on every day, with Russian forces blasting their way. There's one word here, blasting. Blow up or break apart something solid with explosives. Context is war, easy to understand. Blasting their way into Severodonetsk using artillery fire. Artillery, what does it mean? Large caliber guns used in warfare on land. Officials in Kyiv have said that up to 200 Ukrainian soldiers are being killed every day, and troops are running out of shells and ammunition. This talks about the exact figure. Heavy losses on when it comes to the Ukrainian soldiers. To be very specific, how many soldiers are being killed every day? Very unfortunate though. Officials in Kyiv have said that up to 200 Ukrainian soldiers are being killed. This is in present continuous passive voice. They are killing 200 Ukrainian soldiers, active voice. 200 Ukrainian soldiers are being killed every day. Present continuous passive voice. You have to recollect any sentence in passive voice, the main verb is always in past participle form. Kill, killed, killed. That is one thing. Any continuous tense in passive voice, the word being is compulsory. That you have to remember and recollect. And troops are running out of, we have got this phrasal verb many a time. Run out of something, use up something. Usually, employees in the last week of the month, they run out of money. In a meeting, people initially they have a lot of ideas. After some time, they run out of ideas. So, what are the combinations? A run out of money, a run out of petrol, a run out of ideas. These are, and in this context, a run out of shells. I use quite often running out of time. Shells and ammunition. Shell noun, you all know seashell, but here a different shell altogether. A shell in a military context is a projectile whose payload contains an explosive. The covering of something, usually a bullet. Ammunition describes the supply of shells or bullets used for a gun. Obviously, the war has been going on for so long, they will run out, they're bound to run out of shells and ammunition, the Ukrainian soldiers. While these public statements have been in part to push Western allies, ally you have got many a time, military. Imagine there's a big country and other countries announce their support, then we use the word ally. Not extinction. Run out of does not mean extinction. A run out of means to use something completely. Use something completely is different. Become extinct is different. Extinct means to disappear completely. And extinct goes with flora and fauna, plants and animals, and we don't use with resources. It goes with plants and animals, flora and fauna. I was talking about while these public statements have been in part to push Western allies to ramp up weapon supplies, they also draw a bleak picture of the situation in the East. It talks about they have given a public statement. What is that public statement? Officials said up to 200 Ukrainian soldiers are being killed every day. That is really unfortunate. While these public statements have been in part to push Western allies to ramp up weapons supplies, ramp up, it goes with production, manufacturing sector, ramp up, increase the level or amount of something sharply, supply or production or manufacturing sector, we talk about production. Ramp up weapons, supply of weapons, weapon supplies, it has been mentioned clearly. They also draw a bleak picture. Here, draw a bleak picture means present a bleak picture of the situation in the East. Bleak is an important word. Usually, it goes with the future, it goes with prospects. Bleak means not hopeful or encouraging, it has a negative connotation. Despite the brave resistance in the north and northeast, in the north, here, if you're talking about directions, before directions, we have to use a definite article the north. Drift for what? The word drift for what? And northeast, which forced Russia to retreat from around Kiev and Kharkiv. The Ukrainians never stood a chance to push the Russians back in the Donbass. It talks about the different towns and cities who had the upper hand, or present scenario who has the upper hand. Despite their brave resistance, here their brave resistance means the soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers in the north and northeast, which forced Russia to retreat. This is again an important word. Retreat goes with soldiers, army, withdraw from enemy forces as a result of their superior power or after a defeat. Here, show white feathers. There is one important idiomatic expression. Show white feathers means to behave like a coward and retreat, to leave the battlefield because of the formidable enemy. We use the word retreat. From around Kiev and Kharkiv, the Ukrainians never stood a chance. Stand a chance means chances are there, but never stood a chance to push the Russians back in the Donbass. The West strategy, here West capital letter. There are two words, one West, the other East. Usually we talk about Western culture, Eastern culture. Western culture, there's one word. The word is Occidental culture. And Eastern culture, there is one word, Oriental culture. Occidental, Western, known for materialistic lifestyle. Oriental, Eastern, known for spiritual attitude. These words you have to recollect. The West's strategy has been twofold, multifold, many, twofold, two aspects or two dimensions. What are those two dimensions? It has sent money and weapons to Ukraine on the one hand to help it resist Russian aggression and slapped biting sanctions on Moscow to make the war economically painful. Twofold approach, one supplying money and weapons to Ukraine, the other slapping, biting sanctions on Moscow to make the war economically painful. There are two, this sentence talks about the approach of the West. The West has taken twofold approach, one supplying money and weapons to the Ukraine, the other slapping sanctions on Moscow. There are two words over here, aggression, the action of attacking without provocation. Usually we use the adjective form aggressive. Aggressive means what? Ready to attack. It goes with animals, usually dogs, aggressive dog. It also goes with people, aggressive person, aggressive people. And slapped. We all know the word slap. It goes with everyday English. He has been slapped or she has been slapped. But here, slap has a different connotation altogether. Put or apply somewhere, something, somewhere quickly, carelessly. and also forcefully. So here, using sanctions forcefully, suddenly, to make the war economically painful. While arming Ukraine has certainly slowed down Russia's advances, because the West supplied weapons and money, what is the impact of that? While providing the weapons, arming Ukraine has certainly slowed down Russia's advances. With heavy losses across the battlefronts, it has failed to stop the Russian war machine. It could slow down, the Western support could slow down, but it could not stop. It failed to stop the Russian war machine. The war is still on, and Russia has, as of now, the upper hand. Russia has taken most of the key cities in the east and south, including Mariupol, Berdyansk, and Kherson, and Severodonetsk could be the next. So it talks about the different cities taken by Russian troops, and most of the key cities in the east and south. In spite of the Western support, the Ukrainians could not give a tough fight. The economic sanctions. Now the second one is supplying weapons and money. The other one, slapping economic sanctions. What is the impact of that? The economic sanctions have had a mixed result. Usually, we have got many a time mixed feelings. Mixed result means both positive and negative. Sanctions have hit Russia hard, and its economy is expected to contract by 8.5% this year. The impact of the second dimension. First dimension, supply of money and weapons to Ukraine. Second dimension, imposing sanctions on Moscow. What is the impact of the second dimension? Mixed result, positive and negative. What is negative? At the outset, sanctions have hit Russia hard, and its economy is expected to contract by 8.5% this year. But contrary information, this is negative, now positive, based on that mixed result. But at the same time, it has continued to reap a windfall from high oil and gas prices, while on the other side, soaring inflation has hit the global economy. Here, reap a windfall, an important idiom, an unexpected or sudden acquisition or advantage, often in the form of unforeseen financial gain. It goes with the financial aspect. Unexpected, not expected, reap a windfall, an important idiom. So all these sentences talk about the impact of the war, the impact of sanctions, to be very specific, both positive and negative. So a mixed result on Russia, and also it talks about the impact on global economy. On the other side, soaring inflation, soaring, fly high in the sky, one meaning, sudden increase, go up suddenly. It goes with prices, salaries, and numbers. Soaring inflation has hit the global economy, and Ukraine's economy, needless to say, faces collapse. The maximum impact, who is going to bear the brunt of the war? Obviously, the Ukraine. And Ukraine's economy, needless to say, faces collapse. Collapse, it goes with the structure. In this context, economy suddenly fall down or give way. Collapse also goes with buildings. As a weapons and sanctions approach, what is a twofold approach? Weapons and sanctions. As a weapons and sanctions approach has been unsuccessful in its objectives, other options should also be explored to end the war. These two options haven't worked out. So, based on that, they have to explore other options to end the war. What is the main idea? End the war. Between the maximalist positions taken by Russia and the US, France, Germany, and Turkey have maintained some lines of communication with Moscow and Kiev. It talks about maximalist positions taken by Russia and the US. What is the meaning of the word maximalist? Especially in politics, a person or a country who or which holds extreme views and is not prepared to compromise, not willing to change, rather stubborn. France, Germany, and Turkey have maintained some lines of communication with Moscow and Kiev. These countries should push both sides for talks and try to revive new proposals. Old proposals haven't worked out. So, these countries, what are these countries? France, Germany, and Turkey. These countries should push both sides for talks, Russia and Ukraine, both sides for talks and try to revive. Revive, again, we have got many a time. Give new strength or energy to or bring back to life, where all sides get something and lose something in return for peace. Everyone gets something. At the same time, they lose something in return for peace. There's a saying in English, when you want something, you have to lose something. Ending the conflict is an imperative, another important word. Imperative means what? Of vital importance or crucial, not just for Ukraine, but also for the world that has been battered. The global economy has been battered, the world has been battered. Battered means what? Subject to repeated violence and assault by high prices of everything from food to fuel. How does the editorial end? Russia, whose invasion has pushed the world to the brink of a devastating security and economic crisis, brink, edge, a point at which something, typically something unwelcome, is about to happen, and on the verge of, that expression also you have to recollect and remember, of a devastate, damage, or destruct, highly destructive or damaging security and economic crisis. Russia, it talks about that, has a primary responsibility. The main idea is being reiterated to end this war through a political settlement. War is not the solution. Political settlement, they have to end the war. That's all about the editorial. Let us go to questions based on this editorial comprehension point of view to enhance your comprehension skill. What is this editorial about? You should write an important editorial. In recent weeks, who has taken heavy losses? How many Ukrainian soldiers are being killed every day? Based on statistics, you have to mention the number. All these questions are explicit questions. What is a twofold strategy of the West? Twofold strategy of being killed. Who has taken heavy losses? Keywords: navigate, locate, and write the answer. Should not be a big, that difficult, not a big deal. Why should other options be explored to end the war? When certain options fail, you have to explore other options, obviously. So easy to answer almost all these questions. Let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. First five questions, as usual, error based, error location. Read the sentence. Here it may look a little different. There's a sentence divided. Again, the same parts are given. You have to see and find out, read meticulously and find out where the error is. Some people are really mannerless. Educated, I'm sure graduates and postgraduates are here, and educated graduates, and they don't know how to interact, so mannerless. And one student, one can, I don't know what exactly the background says, you send a message, you then you remove the message. What is this? Questioning me. It is ridiculous, in my opinion. You don't have the right to question. And why do we do that? Do you think we have no other work? When I send the thumbnail notification, if I remove that, delete that, it means the next day it is not going to happen. So I don't want the students to wait. That is the reason why I do that. And I have 1001 reasons to do that. Just like that, we don't cancel a session. Just like that, we don't skip the sessions. There is a valid reason, there's a strong reason. Only then I try to skip the session. It doesn't mean that one day out of 2 years or 3 years, one day I do that. You question, what is this? Why do you send? Why do you remove? It shows a level of immaturity and lack of manners and decency. I really pity level of thinking, level of maturity. I don't know. I don't want to say anything beyond this. So, where is the error? If you say something like, please be regular, that is also not acceptable. Do you think I don't know? We don't know that we have to be regular. That is also not acceptable, but to some extent acceptable, because since you want to learn and politely you're telling, sir, please be regular, that is okay, fine to some extent. But what is this? Why do you do this? It is like questioning. You cannot question. Yes or no? I hope you guys are listening. A red and sore tongue is an indicator from lack of iron, vitamin B12 in the body. Red and sore, here this is an important word. Today in the editorial, we have got SOAR. SO, in fact, to be very polite, a polite person will say, sir, you haven't taken for 1 or 2 days. May I know the reason, sir? That is very polite way of asking. May I know the reason for not taking the sessions for 2 days? Sir, may I know the reason for deleting the message about the session or deleting the thumbnail image related to the session? That is very polite. So here, SOAR, soar, that goes with fly high in the sky. But here, SORE, soar, this means painful, painful. They come under confusing words. A red and sore tongue, sore mouth, sore eyes, sore throat means painful. There's nothing wrong with this. Is an indicator from or indicator of. Very good. Indicator of. From is not the correct preposition, of is a correct preposition. I feel better. I may sound a little different, but I feel better. Indicator of. So question is about preposition. In the high-strung life of overcrowded metros, there is a constantly tug of war over space and resources. Thank you. Very good. Here, constantly is not correct. We have to use the adjective form. Constantly, adverb. Constant. Remember, recently we have got tug of war. In the high strung, nothing wrong with this. It is a new expression, so you have to remember. In the high strung life of overcrowded metros, there is a constant tug of war over space and resources. People compete for two things. One is space, the other is resources. Tug of war. We have got recently. So it is a question related to word forms. Right word, wrong form. Constantly is not correct, constant is correct. The foremost criterion of selection we adopted were the number of years of training a singer had received under a particular guru. The foremost criterion. This is an important question. You all know criterion singular, criteria plural. So, how do you decide the foremost criterion of selection we adopted were? It's a little tricky. Do you have to choose criteria were or criterion was? The number of years of training a singer had received under a particular guru. Here it talks about only one dimension, one aspect. Based on that, nothing wrong with the word criterion. We have to use a singular form. But because it is singular, we have to use was. It is a question related to subject verb agreement. The foremost criterion of selection We adopted was the number of years. Yes, very good. But a little tricky. You got to read the complete sentence. Only then you can make out whether you have to use a singular form of the noun or you have to use a singular form of the verb. That way, it is a good question. Excess weight is a result of unhealthy eating habits, which are inherent risk factors responsible for many diseases. Yes, question number three about a subject verb agreement. Criterion was, and you have to recollect all the Latin nouns of Latin and Greek origin to consolidate your knowledge. Criterion, phenomenon, memorandum, alumni, alumnus singular, alumni plural, and so many are there. Even other words you have to recollect. No one has answered question number four. Nothing wrong with inherent risk factors. Very good. Who is this? Bharadwaj. First one to get it right. Answer is the fifth option. Please respect the fifth option. No error. Excess weight is a subject. Is a result of nothing wrong. Result of what? Unhealthy eating habits. And there's a clause related to unhealthy eating habits. What is a clause? Habits plural, which are inherent risk factors. Inherent adjective, inherent, inbuilt, responsible for many diseases. Perfect sentence, flawless. Answer is no error. You got to be very careful when you choose the fifth option, no error. You have to make sure every word, every phrase, every clause is perfect, grammatically, contextually. The last one, somewhere I feel we have got this question. The therapeutic benefits at helping others have long been recognized by people. Still, it's a good question under pressure, a bit difficult, but if you read meticulously, you will be able to. The therapeutic benefits at is not correct. Of benefits of. The word benefits takes the preposition of. Benefits of helping. No, no, benefits at is not correct. The benefits of helping others, the therapeutic benefits of helping others, have long been recognized by people. Wrong preposition. At is not the correct preposition. We have to use the preposition of. Please go to phrase replacement. We asked her that how she got time to write all these books. Fixed preposition, people say. I prefer the expression prepositional combination. Benefits of, benefit of doubt. There's one standard expression, benefit of doubt. We asked her that how she got time to write all these books. We asked her that here this, the moment you see words like, verbs like said, asked, told, ordered, requested, you have to think of indirect speech. And that goes only with statements. Said, that, statement. But here, question. She said something, she asked something. We don't use the word that. That goes with statements. Based on that, you have to choose. The given option is not, the given sentence is not correct. Here, we asked her, that ruled out, that ruled out. How did she get? No. Here, indirect speech, question. There's so many rules you have to recollect, and you have to make sure all the everything is in place. The interrogative form changes to affirmative form. How did she get? Interrogative, not correct. How she got? Answer is this one. We asked her how she got time to write all these books. Have you got it? Answer is, I think it is not C, it is D. D is the answer. Which one? You have to read carefully, understand the context, only then you can answer. Exposure to the language, one reading you will be able to, but you don't have that exposure, you have to read twice, thrice, you will be able to. Studies in the past have shown that those who limit their activity span during the day in winters are more likely to suffer from depression. Studies in the past have shown that those who limit their activity span, exactly. Question. Interrogative form changes to affirmative form. Thank you very much, Prasad. Oh, you're there. For which question? Nagamani. Please mention the question number. Only then I can answer. Is it related to error location or is it related to phrase replacement? Question number 2. Studies in the past have shown that those who limit their activity span during the day in winters are more likely to suffer from depression. Are more likely to suffer. Nothing wrong. Answer is no correction required. Very good. I appreciate. Not easy. Under pressure. Sentence improvement. First question. How to decide? Here there is a clue for you. Asked. Already you have learned indirect speech. Asked means said changes to asked. That means it's a question. We don't use that in questions. That goes with statements. And you can eliminate the word that. And again, you have learned the rules that go with questions in indirect speech. One of the rules, interrogative form, the most important because it goes with common errors, interrogative form changes to affirmative form. This is an easy one, not difficult. If you are good at direct and indirect speech, that topic, one reading, you will be able to get the answer. I hope it's clear. Please go to question number 3. Living with compassion, being kind, and contributing to others' lives would helping us add happiness to our lives as well. B. Would helping us grammatically not correct. Will helping us grammatically not correct. Will help us, hold that one. Would helped. After the helping verb, the main verb should be in the basic form without to or bare infinitive. Based on that, these are helping verbs. The verb cannot be helping, helped. Again, here, same principle, bare infinitive. So this is bare infinitive, will help us. Answer is B. Within no time, you will be able to answer. Living with compassion and contributing to others' lives will help us add happiness to our lives as well. True. The easiest way for prevent stress. Before you go to options, you have to know the answer. Question number 4, it's an easy one. If you're really good at English, you don't have to go through the entire sentence. You can stop here. The easiest way for prevent, yes, will and shall with first person singular and plural, only will with other pronouns if you are talking about future actions. But these helping verbs have other functions, then the rule is not applicable. The easiest way for prevent or to prevent? To, to, it should be the first one or the third one. Easily, no. The easiest way, answer is C. Only one reading. Now you have this para jumble from one of the bank exams, previous year's papers. You decide for yourself, try to get the correct order, decide for yourself easy or difficult. If you get the correct order, easy. No, difficult. As simple as that. This is not my para jumble. This is from previous year paper. Take elimination approach. With so many products and opportunities available in the market, it is very easy to get this planning. Any sentence with a demonstrative pronoun or demonstrative adjective cannot be the first one. Planning, therefore, again cannot be the first one. What amount will we need and when will we need it? You cannot answer. Hold that one. Most of us would put our children's education above any other priority in life, including our own retirement. Hold this one. So cannot be the first one. First one should be either C or D. Obviously, answer is D is the first one. Most of us would put our children's education above any other priority in life, including our own retirement. Very good, you got it right. Second and third. Second is a little tricky. If you get the second one, you get the correct order. No, it is not E. D is the first one. What is the second one? No, no, E is not the second one. Please don't go to the third one. No one has got the second one. E is not the second one. Yes, go to the, no, C is not, A is not the second one. DA is not correct because this planning is here, this planning. How can A be the second one? B and A, they form a pair. Based on that, it should be DBA. BA one pair. Quite obvious. Planning, this planning, it's quite obvious. So DBA, planning therefore is imperative and should begin as early as possible. With so many products and opportunities available in the market, it is very easy to get this planning wrong. This planning, this planning. Obviously, BA. So let us try to find out the best solution by asking two important questions. Where do you find two important questions? What amount will we need? When will we need it? That means what? E, C, they form a pair. Exactly. That's what I said. If you get the second one right, you get the correct order. Because planning, this planning, two important questions, there are two important questions. BA one pair, EC one pair. So what is the correct order? DBA, EC. Let us go to phrasal verbs. Not easy, today a little challenging. But first try to get whatever you know, and then you will be able to at least three you can get. Ebb away. If you know the meaning of the word ebb, you can easily get it goes with tides, high tide, low tide, receding waters. We cannot here, therefore, indicates a conclusion. Not always. Depends on the context. All of you should remember here a statement most of us would put. Based on that, therefore, it talks about reason. It need not be all the time the last sentence, Prasads. This is what I tell students. Generally, we tell students these words are used in the concluding sentence. English has rules, English has exceptions. It doesn't mean that all the time. Ultimately, what matters, the context. That's the reason why I tell you guys to read the Hindu paper and to read the headlines and the editorials. Why should you read? Not that I'm the brand ambassador for the Hindu paper, When you read, you get exposed to different or variety of contexts. You get exposed to the language. That exposure creates contextual awareness. With that contextual awareness, you can make out. Otherwise, what happens? You will have fixed ideas. You cannot go with fixed ideas when it comes to English because English has rules, English has exceptions. Therefore, usually goes with conclusion, not all the time, need not be all the time. Do remember. So, what is the answer here? Have you guys answered? I could not. What is the first one? Flow away. Yes. D is the first one. Ebb away means flow away from a given position. Hit out. This is an easy one. Hit out means what? Attack violently. A is the answer. Sally forth. Come out of a situation, come out of a room, eagerly or vigorously to do something. This is very difficult. E is the answer, the toughest. Sally forth. To come out with a lot of force to do something in a difficult situation. Lash up. Lash, leash, try to associate, tie up tightly with ropes, jolly along, encourage to move more quickly. B. Has anyone got all the five correct? If you say yes, that is highly appreciable, not easy. Let us go to the last slide, enrichment point of view. Enrich your word power based on today's editorial vocabulary. Artillery. So, what is the meaning of the word artillery? Part of speech, obviously, noun. Who is this? Nivedita says, yes, that's really good. All the five correct. Highly appreciable. Not easy. Artillery means what? Large caliber guns. D. Aggression, noun. Aggressive, adjective. Attacking without provocation. Ready to attack all the time. G. Slap, verb. It could be a noun, but usually a verb. Slap. In this context, apply something quickly. Ramp up. Ramp, a different meaning altogether. It goes with a fashion show. The elongated structure, protruded structure on which the models walk, that is a ramp walk. But here, ramp up, it's a phrasal verb. Increase the amount of something. Answer is, what is the answer? For A is the answer. Very good. Bleak future, that means adjective. Bleak future means what? No hope, not positive, not hopeful, encouraging. Answer is C. Retreat, retreated, it's a regular verb. Withdraw enemy from enemy forces, leave the battleground to return. So H, soar, part of speech, verb. What does it mean? Fly or rise high in the air, to go up. Another meaning, to go up. Collapse is also a regular verb. Suddenly fall down. Rama, sir, I have cleared Federal Bank PO online assessment and the next round to GD and remote interview. Okay, tomorrow I'll give a few tips. Today it is not possible. We have run out of time almost. Collapse means what? Suddenly fall down. A is the answer. Congratulations at the outset and all the best. I will definitely give a few tips tomorrow. Revive, part of speech, it is a regular verb. Revival is a noun form. Give new strength. I is the answer. Batter, subject to repeated violence, to be beaten repeatedly. F, this is battered. It's a verb. Has anyone got all the 10 correct? That is highly appreciable. That's all for today. Hope you guys have got enriched. Thanks for being with me till 7:56. Have a nice day and do remember to subscribe and share. And also, if you want to join the Telegram group after the session, go to the description of the video and click on the link. Thank you very much.